happening in here is not being broadcast.
Yeah, my wife has said that it's not been on the
That
last couple.
picture has to switch over to what's being live on the cameras. If it doesn't, we're not live. But you still got 15 minutes.
Get the height up.
See, now you did that, so
Okay.
why don't you just stop that for a few minutes?
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so what do we got here?
That's what time it'll work correctly.
We gonna need this or not?
Which is what,
That's a UCAD.
we're gonna talk about that tonight, yeah.
Okay.
I see ECAD is advertised for public hearing on the 24th. But that exceeds our 65 days from when it was the 13th of February.
Alright, I asked Pam.
What's
Alright,
wrong?
well then maybe we
What's
should
wrong?
cancel it and.
Well, we'll take it up tonight, and I'd like to just deny it without prejudice, and then.
Okay.
Have you gotten new plans?
No. That you guys haven't seen? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
the only plan I have is where it was hand-drawn, some
Yeah,
writing.
penciled in.
That's it, that's the only thing I've seen.
Then I would recommend just cancel without prejudice. We'll confirm with them, because I thought Alan had an updated drawing that's,
Well, he's going in the wetlands, so I don't know what
Right.
went there.
but that's on the 19th.
And what about 398 Main Street? Isn't that one
They,
on?
we finally need to give them a public hearing next time.
Welcome home.
Hello, hey, hello there.
Would you give up on me? I don't know.
No, I wasn't sure, so I put it out, but.
I
Would you
picked
say
this-
we're gonna give them a public hearing?
I picked this up
Yeah.
downstairs.
But they
didn't
passed their
have my
65
name on it,
days.
but-
No, none of
Okay.
them did.
Okay.
Right, I think she's reapplying.
Where's all the suntan?
Are you kidding? With my history, I mean,
Oh, I see.
down there.
Oh, okay.
But I wear a hat, I wear an umbrella over my head.
So hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the civilization.
Yeah. Well, pretty mild out, nice,
Well, Kid's gonna get much better.
I know, it's gonna be 80 on
Yeah,
Friday.
and then it's gonna
into
get
the
cool
80s.
again a little bit. so.
Well, it's
Oh,
spring, I will.
It's
Well-
Connecticut.
What's going on?
When did you return?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Just in time for.
Well, I've been
heavy
keeping,
hitters.
you know, I looked online at all the
Mm.
minutes and the thing, and basically had an idea what you were all up to.
Have you been on your lake walk yet?
Yes. Yeah, I see what's going on at O'Haron's place, yeah. That's quite a procedure there to, get all that water out of there. They're lucky they have their own staging place across the
Yeah.
street.
Well, with a bridge being repaired at the end of the lake
Yes.
too, it cuts down on some of the possibilities.
Are
This
they-
is 231 North Main Street. Which place is that?
McCall Foundation
Oh, okay, all right, I
is
see.
currently empty, but they wanna propose a women's shelter there.
Where?
231 North Main Street.
Oh, okay, it's right on the top. All right, well, we can talk about it.
I literally came in today, so I figured I would share with you guys.
All right,
And what is this? This big hunk of stuff?
that's the,
Is that from ECAD?
no, that's the
Tractor
place in
Supply.
Mark Hampstead.
Oh, okay, Tractor Supply.
Oh, tractor supply.
They have a modification.
They've just got a modification, so they came in and
Yeah.
they asked if we could just do a staff review, and I said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah. This is a huge,
Well, it is, but there's not a lot of modifications to it, it's not,
I know, I took your table.
no, don't do it, don't,
I can
move.
move
No,
over.
don't. I'm not sure I'm gonna be looking at all of this. Are we gonna be doing this today, George? I mean,
Yes, we
actually
are
doing
tonight.
it? Oh, I like that.
yeah.
Everybody needs that, you know, it's just easier to look at it when
Right.
it's flat.
Is this thing recording right now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Why, yes. And I haven't met, has Adam an attendant?
He's out,
Missed the last one, he won't be here tonight.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he called.
Hey, Peter,
Hello there, you're back.
I'm back.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be seen.
Did you bring Lee with you or not?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know, maybe you left him there.
Well, he had to pull the thing, so, you
Oh,
know.
okay. You could have flown back
He's-
or.
True.
Whatever, we hitchhiked.
See
you know.
those things happen. Oh, God.
So, how bad is that one up in Sandusville, just the attic area?
I'm not even sure it got into the attic.
Okay, cause it's first, when they were dispatching everybody and their brother from down this way, they said it
Oh,
was
yeah.
fully involved, and then I heard it was just in the attic and
But
stuff.
then I got a
And I
text
knew it
from-
was in solar, they had solar panels and stuff there
Yeah,
and everything, I knew that.
I guess it was the Tesla panel.
Yeah. So it's the panels that
Yeah,
caused the problem?
the panels and
So I
they had
haven't
their,
been down there past,
church
past
adjustment
Mallory
already.
Brook. Are they already
And
starting the
the problem with
tractor
those-
supply?
Oh, no.
There's no easy
They're waiting
way
for
They,
this.
that's what's in here tonight, is a
Yeah.
modification.
They say, you know, throw parts
Because they
over
got
and everything
sued
else, well, who the hell in the right
Oh,
mind is gonna
by?
throw
By
parts
the
over
guy
and
that had the
burn it?
property
They have a
where the
hole in the
drainage
roof.
was.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
they're
yeah.
short now.
And they're shorting
Yeah.
out,
And what
and
was the
even on a
result of
cloudy
that?
day, they generate electricity.
Actually, went through,
Enough to kill you.
wetlands, they had an
Basically,
opportunity to kind of have a back and forth,
Like
and
burns.
I thought it was
You try
very
to put,
comprehensive.
with a
what
fire
they
got
had in
it
the original
out.
Well, you
plan.
can put
But
water
mod-
on it, you
I
gotta
apologize,
use,
the
you know,
modified
like a
plan,
fire,
you guys are
use
gonna
a straight
see.
stream.
So it
Put a
changes
fire
something
like
on
that,
it.
so there's a
So
lot of
It
it's
air.
takes
like-
all the,
Does that alleviate
that.
the suit?
right,
Or-
well,
Be careful.
Jim's gonna probably
Yeah, I
talk
know, they
more
were-
about it.
they
but
released the
I guess
partners
they did
really quick.
form,
Yeah,
another
they had a
appeal.
lot of people there.
Well,
I saw some pictures of all the
I
departments.
mean, you figure, they have Colebrook, both their apartments, Riverton,
Something.
Oh, it's not all.
I think West Hartland.
So how you doing?
So,
Pleasant
Has
Valley
our
moved up to
little group
Riverton.
met? Probably not. I haven't seen, yeah, okay.
No,
Spring,
and
we'll
I,
start.
and I found out I'm really not supposed to like meet with you guys that way.
Why?
Otis and
Because
Towlin,
we have to
all
have
those.
it available to the public.
Oh, we just have to post
I
it,
don't know
right?
how, Colin, it's tough to come down.
Yeah, it's,
I don't know.
unless we did a Zoom or something, I guess we could have done
They're
that.
hurting up there bad.
To be honest,
Probably like all
other
of us are.
than,
Actually, Sandusfield took over.
E
Tom's
under
and-
par,
Oh, they do?
they
Okay.
came in, I think I shared their sign with you
Yes.
I don't-
guys.
Right, right.
And they actually were taking
Oh,
them.
Jim.
How are you, sir?
They took
Have fun yet?
Not yet.
really
Not snowing at
everything else.
least.
The next one might be as honey.
Shipping like a madman. Beaver with a bad tooth.
For what?
You know,
Like
no,
Bob
yeah,
and
what a
Mark.
disaster up there.
Same people.
You
when
gotta
they-
take a ride to
No,
the state
Newport.
park. I was
Yes,
over
I
there
saw
last
something
yesterday.
about that
Way up
already.
in the back.
So,
A while ago that they were.
yeah, he's
he was
been
doing
kind of
that.
in and out of the country, so.
Split.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
throw wood
he's finally
up
getting
there,
ready to
so
open
they just
it,
put-
so.
push, enough to open up
Did
the
the,
road.
did the.
Yeah, that's all I did.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So that's what
Nothing.
JT
The state plows that road still, all the way up to the top of Mohawk, the tower, and, well, they just pushed everything off.
We have so many dead trees in every town around here that the
We're
budgets
getting
are
bubble
gonna
tea
go
eventually
crazy.
at the old
His
Winston
daughter
Diner.
had a brush fire yesterday, up in Chester Center, about
We did the second time.
This office.
I guess with young people.
We do.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Hollow
They have-
inside.
Sounds interesting.
Both of them,
She runs
the
the
bark
shop
started to
in
peel off, she'll
Plainville.
start slowly between the bark,
Pretty well
going up
established.
to the tree, you know,
She can make
the
a
bark.
go of it.
Almost like lightning or
Yeah, I think somebody dumped some ashes out.
but they have.
that'll do it.
Don't know when, they didn't admit to it, but,
Right.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
There was a lot of ashes here and the wind blew it
Hopefully
back.
interviewing next week.
Burned about 3/4 of an acre or better.
Wow. I mean, the fires in hell out there.
They went to enforcement.
And then
I just been on the phone
He
with
was,
because they just got through over 2 acres up on MDC property, up on the corner intersection with Mill Street.
So he didn't wanna do enforcement.
I got, at our town dump, we take in
Of course.
brush
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
inches or
yeah.
less. I
And
mean,
we're, and
my
people
pile
aren't
in the
used to it
last
here,
2
so they're
weeks
like, what?
is like the size of this road.
Like, what? There's a rule?
Oh my
I have to
god, I'm
follow?
like, guys, you gotta slow down, I gotta burn some of this first.
Yeah.
You
We're
won't
gonna have a
burn anything
bonfire
till
for a month.
late May or at the earliest,
I know.
till everything's
Well,
green.
no, it's gonna, next week it's gonna rain pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, but in 2
That
days,
was their
a day or 2
prediction?
days time, the fire day should
Well, we
be
need
back
one
up.
day.
Yeah, burn it on a rainy day.
I bring the,
Oh.
yeah, I bring the fire department in, they sit out of with me.
God, we're like, what, 3-4 minutes ahead? John's walking in. The hell
John's
we
walking in
doing?
here. 6:57.
Well, you got out early.
Hey, Troy.
Hey Charlene, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I thought we had a
Are
new
you,
member here.
feeling
for a
better
minute.
now that you're back to Winston, or you
Yeah,
wanna go back to Florida?
I feel great. Well, actually, I'm glad to be out of
This
there
guy
now
is
that
not gonna be here, but you're here.
the
so-
sargassum
brought it.
seaweed is coming in.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Oh, my God.
You brought all the warm weather with you.
Yeah, that's right, right. But the
Well, we
sea,
missed you, by the way, so
thank you,
glad you're back.
thank you.
You're not allowed to leave for that
Man, so
long
much
next
has
time.
happened since the last time we saw you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fist fights.
So how's your assessment appeals doing?
Tomorrow's the last night.
I see you're all set up in the other room there. Candy's all ready for you and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I got mine tomorrow night.
I get to hammer George tomorrow.
Don't ruin the illusion.
Yeah, the one I'm worried about is Hartford Healthcare, that's the one I'm worried about. That's,
We're there tomorrow night as
what
well.
we gave back to us.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. What did
Yeah,
it
they're
say?
saying they're nonprofit. So what they did is, when they made the deal, right, the company was for profit.
That's right.
As soon as the building got finished, they sold
They
it to a
transferred.
nonprofit.
Yep.
They did.
Yes, they did.
Oh, and we're surprised by that, George?
No, I'm not.
Come
I was
on.
shocked to begin with.
I think
how
we
it was
talked
set up.
about that, that was what they
We had a
intended.
discussion of that at our meeting.
And believe it or not, we're not the only town. I guess there's 26 towns that they've done this to.
Of course.
Okay, Hartford Healthcare is like huge now.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the 26, they said, their lawyer, they all came dressed in suits and ties, that only one other town was fighting, and I said, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
No
Unless
kidding.
you're a rich town, you're gonna fight for every nickel you can get, and
Oh,
this
yeah.
is one of them.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Bait and
I
switch,
didn't either,
call it.
I was involved in
You
that
think?
Saw
approval.
property
You think-
transfers go through on it,
And
and
they
I knew
assured
there'd been
us it was
sold,
not gonna
you
happen.
know, but I didn't
Yeah,
realize
Come on.
it was,
From day one.
Well,
nonprofit.
that's part of the reason why they got probably the approval. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, no, the whole town, the reason we got approved was the town was $250,000 worth of tax revenue.
Yeah.
That's what it was gonna be.
exactly.
I remember, that was a big selling
Their
point.
assessment, it was 11 million, almost 12
They
million.
played the town like a Stradivarius.
fiddle.
And those of us
Well, what do you,
familiar
how
with.
can you deal with it otherwise?
Well, those of us familiar with Hartford Healthcare understood that was gonna happen and even said so, as Peter recalls, and, nobody should be surprised now.
First of all, that shouldn't even be allowed. But
Well, there
it's
should
the world
be.
we live in.
Yeah.
They have a right to sell their entity to whatever
Whoever they
other
want to,
entity they
yeah.
want.
But they're not a non-profit because they're charging Hartford Healthcare rent. So I don't understand how that works. They're getting paid. These guys are all, there was 5 of them that came in,
Yeah.
and I bet you there wasn't one that doesn't make 3-4 figures there.
Well, nonprofits
Okay.
can make a profit, they're not by law
No, you can make all
prohibited from making money.
They said the only profit they make is for their exorbitant salaries.
Well, whatever,
That was
nonprofit
a good
organizations can
definition.
make, they just can't.
But what's the difference with UConn? We're paying the exorbitant salaries. That's the only difference.
Yeah, but these little towns like us, we can't do that. We don't have any industry anymore.
Well, we've been doing it for years. Every church on Main Street doesn't pay anything,
Yeah.
and the
Most all
Winston,
Main
Winston
Street, yeah.
Memorial never paid taxes.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Winston Health Center
They
did.
still don't,
No.
Right, and, the college doesn't, so
you know.
that's
All
where it's
right,
been.
let's
The
get on to,
legislature has
7
considered
o'clock.
many
Well, Lance,
times
start the recording.
Just start there.
changing all of that.
They need to.
I mean, churches will just fall.
Hello, Lance.
Did you get my email?
I did.
Okay, we'll
Thank
talk.
you for that.
Well, as George knows, I don't hold anything back.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're gonna sit down and talk one of
Uh-huh.
these days.
We all set, everybody?
Did you push?
I did, yeah.
Thank you.
Got it all running, and it is recording. So, we call the 7 o'clock Planning and Zoning Commission meeting together. This is Monday, April 10th, 2023, 7 PM. Roll call, I'm George Clausen, the chairman. Peter Marchand is vice chair. John Cooney, Craig Sandon, Willie Platt, Troy Lemire is an alternate. Charlene Lavoy, alternate. Adam Quagliarelli is absent excused. Let me just Public comment? None? Agenda review, any issues to change or add?
So the only thing we could add on, maybe some of you saw in the selectmen's meeting, the 8/24 referral for the bachelor school. I asked, did that need to make the agenda ahead of time, and the answer was no. So you could add that to the agenda now if you feel comfortable talking about it. You don't technically have to vote for it tonight, but you could if you felt like you were well
Let's
enough.
do it on
informed.
the last of the month.
Okay.
And we get whatever it is,
24th.
get a definition of it. Is that all right?
I think that's fine. And they're willing to come if you'd like, the Housing Development Corporation. I don't know if it's necessary, but
This
they'll
is-
have to come
this is
back for a public
bachelor?
hearing. Correct.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, anything else, Lance?
Well, it wasn't on the agenda, but what I was gonna, for other business is this group care facility proposal for a zoning text amendment. It literally just came in today from Martin, I think you all know Martin Carn.
Connor?
Marty
Yeah,
Connor?
yeah.
Marty
Yes.
Connor, yeah.
Yep. He's working with them. It's the old, it's 231 North Main Street. I guess it was a previous veterans group facility, group living, and they would like to propose it for a women's shelter. So, but they're planning, they're not coming to us before a public hearing, I think, till May, but I said, I'll bring it up with you at least tonight, so you're aware of it. And I have a little bit, well, I gave you a little handout about what that texting amendment language was proposed as, but if you wanna talk about it tonight, we can. If not, we'll put it up to the 24th.
Well, we just add it under communications if we could. Is that all
Okay.
right? Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. This Wendy Scallon,
Yes.
is this
So-
a new application?
No, it's not an automatic, because remember last time we thought, because it
It
had passed the
expired.
deadline, it automatically was approved. That doesn't happen with a special permit. So you can either deny it and have her reapply, and we can set a public date for another time.
Well, what's
or
her
we can just
intention?
continue it. She wants to open a yoga center.
But I mean, we haven't seen her in months.
Yeah,
We've had an
I-
application since January.
Right,
We're
and
in
then
April.
she was ready with the notice of the 100-foot butters, the meeting that unfortunately got canceled. So this last one that we had, she didn't repost out to her neighbors, so she couldn't be heard. And then we didn't tell her that in time to make this agenda, so we're trying for the 24th. But,
All right, so it's an action we need to take
Yeah.
and it's legitimate, all right.
so it's not one of those ones that's the clock's ticking, but we'd like her to finally come in and
So
officially
is that by
apply.
state statute that special permits, there is no time limit?
Right.
Can
At
we get,
least
can we
that's
get
what
that
Pam
somewhere in
told me.
writing?
Yeah,
'Cause
okay.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, because I'd like to see that too, because that's not what I was told.
I've
not
always
what
been
I've
told
seen either.
65 days, and
65
I
days
need
is
it
65
before our
days.
next meeting.
Right.
Could you get that sent out to us so we got a
Yeah.
reference?
Yep.
All right, this, so you're gonna do that before we set it up for the next meeting? Which is, I
It's-
mean, the next meeting is the next meeting,
Right.
because you'd have to advertise.
So, I mean, if you feel comfortable that it hasn't missed the time window, then I would say set a public hearing date for the 24th. We'll make sure she comes in with her application.
Yeah, let's do that, just so we got everything.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so let's, that's,
The other one we have coming in on the 24th, that 65-day deadline is the 19th
okay.
of April. So,
this, you're talking about,
ECAT.
yeah, let's, I'm gonna
We have
talk
to talk
about that next.
one, but yes.
So that's the 28th of April, right?
24th will be the next meeting.
24th, Monday.
All right. 4B is a PZC 23-5 special permit public hearing scheduled for April 24th. I did see the advertisement today. Applicant Alan Bergese, Bergese Building and Engineering Incorporated, owner East Coast Assistant Dogs Incorporated, location 149 Newfield Road. Proposal modify location of site of new building and reduction in parking. All right, I looked at the timing on this, came in on the 13th of February. We're just under the 65 days tonight. the next meeting is gonna be outside of that. So I'd recommend that the commission consider that we deny it without prejudice. We don't have a new plan from what you described prior to our meeting.
Correct.
The plan that we have is unacceptable, because it's just pen and ink and it's not complete. So I would recommend that we,
There's no wetlands approvals yet.
Correct.
that's
there's now.
scheduled for what, the 19th?
That one's the
Anyways.
19th.
Right.
So I would say to protect ourselves and not have something just go into, you said special permits aren't that way, but until I see
I'll
that.
find
You wanna
out.
do that under the old business? It's listed there under old business too. So,
Well, I mean, we could, or we could.
You
yeah.
gotta close it.
Well, we haven't opened it.
Oh,
We haven't opened the public hearing.
It's just accepted.
And it has not been advertised until I saw it today, so I haven't seen an advertisement for it prior. Is that correct?
Correct.
yeah.
Okay. So I think we deal with the application rather than, the special permit, public hearing. And I think tonight we should,
Motion then?
I think we should have a
All
motion.
right, I'll make a motion to deny special permit, PZC 23-5, applicant Allen Borghese Building and Engineering Company, without prejudice, due to the timeframe and incomplete application, and we have no wetlands approvals.
We have
I'll second.
Craig,
I'll
second.
second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion? Okay, it's been denied without prejudice. Then let's get a plan. If they don't want to submit one, we can deal with it and we'll handle it later, but at least let's try to get a full file on that. And that's a complicated application that we've heard in 2016. I wasn't on the commission then, and then we subsequently had it. So we should be able to get that straight.
21, no.
Okay, old business is the Wendy Scallon. We've dealt with that, 23-5. We just dealt with that. So the next one is number 5, new business, PZC 23-9. Plan modification request applicant Palm Coast Capital LLC, owner Ledgebrook LLC, location New Hartford Road, M34/B158/L001E2. Proposal shift in location for proposed new building, relocate trailer display area and reduction in parking. Okay, first of all,
My notes.
do we have anything from staff on this?
You would have had comments a while back, actually.
On this?
Yeah.
On this?
I don't remember seeing anything.
Well, to be honest, actually, I don't think any of the comments would have changed from
The
fire
original
marshal's
approval.
office or building official, because there's no edits to the building.
Okay.
But we did meet and talk about fire hydrants.
Fire hydrants,
Yes.
which we'll bring up and add to the plans and stuff. I've got a couple things to add with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Very minor, so.
Yeah.
And the project narrative is helpful. The project narrative is helpful.
Yeah. About full screen ones?
It is on this one.
Yeah, but I can't see
Oh,
that.
right.
It
Yeah,
should,
there it is.
there we go.
You guys see it in the back, okay?
Good evening. For the record, my name is Jim Cassidy, professional engineer principal with the firm of Halsey, Pearson and Cassidy, located at 630 Main Street in Cromwell, Connecticut. Here tonight representing Palm Coast Development LLC. Fortunately, Matt Darling could not be here this evening, so I'm here with our legal counsel, Lou Wise, who's sitting behind me, in case there's any questions. You may recall, we were before you back in, I believe it was December, at which time we received a special permit and site plan approval for the development of a piece of property to the rear of 200 New Hartford Road, behind the Stop and Shop plaza along the southern side of New Hartford Road. Just a little to bring you up to speed as to what's going on. On the original plan we presented, we had regulated activities. location of the present location. So we did go back and we modified our site plans to pull all regulated activities outside the 100-foot upper review area for wetlands in Park Hempstead. Since such time, we've submitted the plans back to the town of Winstead's Wetlands Commission. We did receive approval for the modifications to the site plan at this point. I'll just quickly go over the site plans and what's actually changed. So the first photo up is going to, I apologize, it's going to take a while to regen these because they're in a PDF format. But the area outlined in yellow is the property that we were discussing previously. We're looking at the same development area. Again, it's to the rear of the Stop and Shop, Route 44 or New Hartford Road. It's on the far right-hand side. It's about 650 feet off the road. Access to the site is through the existing parking lot of Stop and Shop. That will not change. On this plan, you'll see an orange line. That's your 75-foot review line from the wetlands, and you'll see a red line. That's the 100-foot review line from wetlands that are associated with Park Hempstead. The previous plan that we submitted, at that point, what we were proposing is to construct a one-story building to be utilized for a new home to Tractor Supply. The building has a total footprint of 23,957 square feet. The building remains exactly the same. The overall size of the building is the same, the use of the building is the same. In addition to, on this plan, if we go over the screen, this is a blow up of the back area. To the upper portion or to the west, there's a concrete pad, that's our outside display. On the modified plan I'm going to show you, we have the same concrete plan. To the front, there's a series of sidewalks where we have the seasonal outdoor display area. That remains the same on the modified plan. In addition to, on the far west side, we have an area that we're proposing to store landscape trailers or display landscape trailers. That's the only thing that's really switched around is the location of that and the location of the building. On this plan, we are proposing 100 spaces. At this point, with the modification, we actually have brought it down to 92 spaces. We only are required to provide 80 spaces based upon use. So this is the modified site plan. What we've done with this plan is we've taken the building location, we've shifted it to the west about 62 feet, and then we moved it forward about 70 feet, and created one row of parking along the front of the parking, and then it created another parking area off to the far west side of it. What we've done is we've taken the trailer display area, we've flipped it over to the far east side, but now when you look at the red line, you'll see that number of pavement or our grading is within that regulated area at all. Again, the other thing that we've changed is we've reduced the number of parking spaces. We were in excess of 20 additional over what was required previously. So that at this point we have 92, but we're still far in excess of what we need. Here's just a cleaner copy of the site plan showing the different display areas. Again, the green area to the front would be the sidewalk display. The area in pink would be the permanent trailer display. And then the big pad off to the side would be the outdoor display area. And again, that's an area where there's products that are too large to have in the store. But when you take a look at the two site plans, they all, overall, they remain this overall same. And for example, what we did is we took the new site plan and we overlaid where the old one was, just to give you that, things have shifted on this site. But the use, the building size, all the display areas, they're all the same. Access to the site remains the same. The only thing that's changed is the location of the building. It's still going to be serviced by public sewer and water. They're basically coming in the same direction they were. We just had to realign the laterals going into the building. Storm drainage is handled in a similar manner to as originally approved, with a detention basin off to the back and one to the side, and then connecting into the drainage system that's within the parking lot for the shopping center. The other thing that I'll bring up is I know in my initial presentation we had talked about traffic. We'd give you some traffic generations for a Tractor Supply, which is a low traffic generator. But we indicated to you that we will ultimately be going back to OSTA, Austin State Traffic Administration, for an administrative sign-off for the expansion of this shopping center. We did approach OSTA, and we actually found out there's presently a permit on this property for the entire plaza of 200,000 square feet, for a development of 200,000 square feet. The shopping center is 112,000 square feet. We're adding about 24,000. So we don't even need to get a permit from OSTA. We're already covered under the existing permit, so there's no additional permitting required.
You mentioned the water service. Peter, you had a question in regards to the,
Yeah, well, they've addressed it, if you look at the site plan, the present one, you can follow the water main where it comes down through the center of the parking lot. They've added a hydrant, to a traffic island, bottom right corner, and another one in the rear, based on,
Okay.
fire
Let
chief
me see
looking
where
at the
you're-
plans and talking with Lance.
So we added one here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only problem, and when you get to your landscaping, that traffic island on the bottom right, it shows landscaping of shrubs all around there, so you may have to eliminate one shrub or something like that because of the hydrant's been added there. But looking through the plans, that's one of the things I noticed there.
Okay.
Make the plow guy happy and eliminate the whole thing.
Well, whatever.
So again, we hope the commission agrees that, this is finding a skip minor.
Well, you're utilizing the shared parking
Yes.
to manage the whole, which, looking at your chart, you're well in excess of what is called for at 300 per, or one space for every 300 square feet of the existing facility and your facility. So parking is not a problem. It's a good move. You kept it away from the things that were challenged, and
Yeah, one of the nice things, I see you moved the propane tank farther away from the building where the original design had it right in front of the building, kind of,
Yeah,
and
the whole-
now it's away from it, which is much better, because just had discussions with the fire chief on it, we're really happy with that.
The propane tank is
Yes,
attachments to
yep,
the,
propane filling station.
so,
Um,
sorry, propane
eh,
tank is over here.
And one of the questions, and I don't know if we made it a condition of the original approval, was an enclosure for the dumpster that's gonna be next to the building.
So typically, we don't have an enclosure on it. This particular, this case, it's located far behind the building.
Well, it's far behind the building, but the fire chief's concern was somebody goes back there, or whatever, discards cigarette, anything, it's right near the building. At least if there's an enclosure with gates that can be locked or secured, it can keep any vandals out or anything.
Again, the development
Yeah,
here, but I
okay.
think as a condition of approval.
His other concern was, and he's the fire marshal in Barkhamsted, he deals with the problem of stacking and storage of pallets. And now they're keeping them against the building in Barkhamsted. What we would want, or he would want, is, I assume they're gonna keep them in the outdoor fenced-in area, but as far away from the building as possible, and you've also got that feed forage shed there, which I assume was hay and straw, to keep it away from that, but somewhere against the fence on the west side if possible.
Again, condition of.
Yeah, no, just small minor things, but these were things that came up in discussion,
oh, it's good that
yeah.
that went
Yeah.
into it, yeah. Okay,
So with that, I conclude my presentation.
okay. Commissioners, let's start around the table. Any questions?
I already said mine.
Okay, Craig,
I'm very pleased.
John?
Just one quick question. Any change to the lighting in relation to the reduction in the parking?
The light poles move within the parking aisles, so that it will still be lit at the same levels. One of the things we had to do is ensure that we didn't have a spillage of lighting to the wetlands, so there's not gonna be any excess lighting. They're all still LED fixtures, dark sky compliant fixtures. It's just only in our front parking area.
All down facing, yeah. That's what I noticed.
Okay, I don't have anything. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is this is not a public hearing requirement, so it's just what we've got and what we've had previously.
I can make a motion if you want. I mean,
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the site plan modifications to 200 New Hartford Road, PZC 23-9, plan modification request for Palm Coast Capital LLC, as presented with the addition of a dumpster enclosure and the pallet storage in the outside fenced-in area as far away from the building as possible.
Greg's got a second.
Take care of the shrubs, take care of put that in as a condition.
Any other comments with regards to the motion? All in favor of the motion?
Thank you for your time.
When are you gonna start building?
Next week?
It's my favorite store.
We asked you that last year too, and you were gonna start by now.
Not soon enough for us.
It'll
Let
be
you
nice
get
to see
cleaned
it
up,
there.
and then we'll proceed. Has everybody or anybody reviewed this proposal for the our regulation?
Codification?
Yeah.
Well, we, the subcommittee, have been through it once or twice, partially. I know Will has read a lot of it, I've read a lot of it, we probably missed some things.
Is this just an
If
FYI?
you look at, where they get,
Yeah, pretty much.
what Lance gave us tonight on this draft motion, I mean, we discussed, because it got committee all throughout it, we had discussed that it has to be commissioned, site plan, permit. We've discussed the parking for outdoor dining, and we've done that here before informally, and subcommittee did that also. Parking requirements for the marina, which there were none listed there.
Well, there's one per 1,500 square feet of building, not
Right.
not for the actual marina itself.
Right. And change it to 1 per 2 available moorings, 1 parking space.
Okay.
We talked about the posting of the sign, which is presently 14 days to change. Oh, that was a different one, so.
No, that was right, from 14 to 10, or, yeah, 14 days to 10.
Yeah,
Which we
okay.
technically voted on,
10
but we
to 10
couldn't
days, yes, that's
technically
correct,
vote
yeah,
on.
item 5. Yep, we discussed that at length. Then about the site plan, if there's no, we don't need a complete site plan, like an A2 survey or anything, as long as there's no modifications to the building footprint or outside of the existing structure presently, that's there. And that's what we had covered. through
So I
that.
would do the driveway ordinance separate.
Yeah, we're still
So
waiting for
have
that, I
it,
assume that's still with Kevin.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
We've heard nothing, you've heard nothing. You didn't give out anything to the commission for steep slopes for discussion tonight?
No, and
That
I
letter
haven't
from-
had a chance in the past week
That
since
letter
the
from
last time
Dave
we talked
Batista,
about it.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at least if you share that with the whole commission, you can just,
I thought we did last time. Did you get to see that proposed steep slopes?
I got a copy of it.
I had
don't
sent it to
think anybody
George, but
else
I don't
did.
think it went out to the
Oh,
whole
okay.
commission.
No.
Okay.
But that
So
letter
let's
that
send that out to
Dave
everybody.
Batista, so the whole commission has it and could look at it, and so we can have a discussion at the whole commission. And then when we get ready, to- if we want to change our regulation to that or modify it, we can. But Lance and I met with Dave Batista, Todd Parsons from Leonard Engineering, and we also, fellow from the,
Jim wasn't
Jim Rollins was there, yes.
Yeah.
And an architect that's designing
Oh,
stuff for up the old.
Paul.
Paul, yeah,
I
from the
forget
old
Paul's
health
last name.
center.
From the, yep.
But we had
Health
some
Center.
long discussions about our problems with the steep slope regulations we have now. They're pretty tight, and cripple a lot of development in different places.
We've got a lot of steep slopes here.
Yeah, and Leonard is working on a project with the old healthcare, old hospital. They're also working on another one with the,
American Mural Project.
mural project that will come to us at some point. But the way our regulations are now, neither one of them are feasible at the moment, so, without having to go to ZBA, so.
Well, I hate to see something just go to ZBA when we've got such a.
Well, yes,
promise
this,
of this.
and I got it with me, copy of it, but the way it's written up, I mean, it puts it on us as a special permit process. So we can, approve it or reject it, so.
What's everybody,
And that
thought
way,
about
but
this. This is the
I
steep
think it's
slope.
needs something that the whole commission needs to discuss
Yeah.
and decide what we wanna do, if we wanna move development forward or what.
I don't think it's a good idea to just go to ZBA and, we've seen,
Not from what I've seen in the past.
Right. Keep it here first.
Well,
well, we've
yes.
got ways to deal with it,
Yeah.
and then we get the reinforcement.
Well,
of,
if we do it as a special permit and we reject it, then they have the option of going to ZBA too.
True, true.
At least we have some control.
I think it's a good idea to get it into us, and,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's changed too, since we first started talking about this.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you look at the amount of steep slope applications that we could have, I think I'd rather see some control put on it so that we get some legitimate development if they're gonna use it. And I asked Peter about what's going on at the health center, and apparently they're talking about putting a driveway and parking around.
A driveway, at least on the lower side of the building, from what I
Yeah.
understand. I had talked to Dave Batista.
So that's on the left side facing it.
Correct.
Be on
Yeah.
that side where the steep slope is.
So I'm not an old timer, but
I
was
would
it the
assume they're gonna
women's
come in-
auxiliary?
Come in where the loading dock is.
Yeah.
You know, the kitchen used to be, and then put a driveway along.
There's a
What
walkway
would be
out
the
there
front of the
now.
building, there's a walkway there, but
Yeah.
between there and Exploration School, have a driveway in there. to
It
have
does
access.
accommodate a vehicle to
Right.
drive up to it now, but they have to back out.
Yeah.
It doesn't go all the way through.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't seen any plans or anything like that to know, but that's the steep slopes they were dealing with, that they're talking about, because we originally were wondering, is it out and back where the parking lot is, where all the
Yeah.
rubble's been dumped over the bank, and it's been expanded
Right.
over the years.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really a steep slope.
Oh, yeah, oh, it is, yes, it is.
You're gonna have one down there.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
Right,
so,
all right. So,
I don't wanna monkey wrench what you guys are working on, but one that's kind of awkward that, I'm finding in real life is the shed regulation that you have is, the recommendation is behind the principal building. And almost every site where we're getting applications is very
Sites.
difficult for them to do that. So it'd be nice if that was worded, that it could be like site-specific approval and not, we haven't denied anybody a shed application because they couldn't put it behind their home, but we try to encourage them as best they can.
but you
But-
try to picture something that you visualize, but there's so many other situations that show up. So do you have a way to, you have a suggestion on
I could, if you are okay with that, I could just pitch, it'd be like basically taking, instead of behind the building, just whatever makes the most sense essentially, of what's the,
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well.
that isn't,
a little cleaner
That
language,
opens the
but
door.
well,
Yeah.
to you, to the
site
building
specific,
right,
I would
exactly.
say.
to whom?
To me,
You know?
right, I mean, really,
No, no,
anybody
that's,
can, that
You
opens
got 7 different opinions here,
Yeah.
so.
way
Or
up.
6, no.
no, let's, yeah, if it's gonna be in a location other than where we talked about, because it was trying to hide it,
Right.
so you start putting it along the sides, where are you talking about in the sides? Forward side, rear side, middle side, I mean, now you're talking about
Exactly.
a lot
Yeah,
of
seen
other
them all.
issues.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
it shouldn't be anywhere in the front yard or in the front half of the
Right.
property, you know,
Right.
definitely. But then again, if the
And
house
then you
is
still
in
have
the very
the,
rear of the
then you have
property.
the side yards to deal with,
kind of
right?
issue,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the case, like a lot of the houses at the very end of the lot, and then it's
Well,
either
they may-
drop down. if you
They
have
had
to
it
put
set
in
up
a
to the rear of
shed
the
or-
property, you know, where there's,
So why wouldn't that be better off just going through ZBA?
It could, yeah.
I hate to see things start moving in a direction that are gonna start complicating everybody's life. And part of the reason to put it in the back is to keep it out of sight. And, if it's not gonna be out of sight, then what are we dealing with, and who's gonna make that determination?
because then when you're dealing with sheds, you're dealing with chicken coops, you're dealing with, you
Sure.
know,
A
other
lot of
things.
things that we're dealing with
And-
now that are not really effectively being dealt with.
Yep.
Let's make it as clear as possible, but,
All right, well, if I can pitch something that makes sense, then we'll look at it, but again, it's not, we're just dealing with it. It seems like a lot of people are coming in for sheds now.
but this, number 6A, is this all it is, Peter, that you're talking about? This is something that's not the full, this full document that understand.
No, basically, this is, because I think the selectmen want us to approve the whole codification documents, everything. But these are things that we had changed.
But this is out of your subcommittee.
Well, this came from the codification.
Oh, it did.
And part of it is, it's kind of combined between the subcommittee and what we found in the codification things.
Okay.
You know, because like, when you look at the chart that's in the back of it, that's, I think, Will, that's where he picked up on Marina.
Yeah.
And things like that. And, you know, like the wording, you know, we're not a committee, we're a commission by state statute. And that stuff. There may be other things in there, but there's so many pages to read through.
I'm kind
Yeah.
of busy, so I haven't really gone through the whole thing. But the motion here is with regards to 6 is to go through the whole thing that we've got, right?
Yeah,
Right,
that's-
yep, that's what the motion is for the whole thing.
That's a little ambitious.
With the following amendments, these are amendments to it.
Amendments to that.
These 6 of the final draft that they gave us.
Okay, all right.
Because there was 2 or 3 drafts that we've received, and one's marked final draft on it.
Well, frankly, I'm not prepared to vote it into a public hearing, because I really haven't had a time to go through this in depth and see what the heck they're talking about
Yeah,
here.
me either.
And wouldn't we have to do it in concert with the subcommittee?
No, the subcommittee had specifics that they were dealing with, and Peter has dealt with things here that you were dealing with in your
Yes.
subcommittee.
Yep.
So
We had the list.
that's a contribution to
We had
this.
the list that you had given to us as chairman of things that we were
So-
to deal with. So,
The red line document that we were given,
Yep.
first off.
Yep.
That really lays out what was changed and the extra wording
Right.
and all
Yep.
that. So, if anybody doesn't have it, maybe Lance can provide it for the ones that still don't have one. But, instead of having to read the whole document, the red line kinda helps it out. And that's where, I picked up a lot of things right out the red line document.
Sure.
And we went through a lot of that at a subcommittee.
yeah, and we had discussed it several different times,
Yeah.
different subcommittee meetings.
I mean, there's a lot of things they added. It's almost like they rewrote parts of our zoning regulations or defined them better or something, I'm not quite
Did you
sure.
see anything that was,
Who did
I mean, every
that?
time you look at it.
Who did that, Willie?
Company that the selectmen
Okay,
hired
all right,
to go through all the ordinances, basically.
okay.
I didn't even hear that they were gonna, that this was even part of their agenda.
I know.
I didn't either, because the subdivision regulations are in there too, which I haven't even looked at yet.
We found out about it in the middle of our subcommittee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with George, we ought to take a little
Well,
more
let's,
look at it.
yeah, let's in the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because I haven't done that in depth.
Well, depending on, yeah, exactly, because we can put it on the agenda to discuss it
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know,
That's what we'll do.
we
Can you
should
mark
get very
that down?
public
Lance,
hearings.
Please.
And everybody has a copy of it?
Yeah, does everybody have a copy of this?
Is it that original, has there been a subsequent one, or that's the one that we got
I
several months ago?
don't know.
The one back in November hasn't changed. yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
the one,
yeah.
I-
and that's
okay,
got the
I got you.
different underlined print and stuff all through it. Things that have been
If you
changed,
need it
things that have been
again.
removed,
No, I
added.
got it.
Okay.
I've got 3, different.
Oh, yeah, I do too, so.
I'm looking there, I have that one, I have,
I've got this great big.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is, yep,
One that's one that's redlined and then
yeah.
2 other pieces.
So which one are we looking at? The one that's the red line?
One line with a line,
All right.
I think the
there's
red line
one
makes
here
it
that
easy.
says
Yeah.
final draft.
no, there's one beyond that. Is that red lined? Let's see. Let's see if that's got all the, maybe, no, that one isn't. There's one with these lines like this,
This one here.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
this
the
one.
one.
Yeah,
That's
that one
the
there.
one.
Yeah, I just got that, okay.
All right. Everybody have it?
I have it.
So this
yeah.
is extraneous then?
I guess. It's extra paper.
Yeah,
Like
let's
the
not
fire-
get
like the
worried
fireplace.
about too much stuff.
It's
I
just
don't
some
have
minor, it's just some minor
should be
amendments
something.
to the language.
That
That's
that
it.
is, yes.
Yeah, this proposed draft motion is,
All right. All right, so we'll do that for our, on the meeting on the 24th. Okay, 7 is approval of bills March 27th.
make a motion, we approve the minutes of March, our meeting of March 27th.
Second.
John, second. Any other comments? All in favor? Okay. Before we go to communications, Peter, what's the status on their subcommittee?
Well, you've got most of it here in these
Okay.
recommendations.
All right.
That, we're still waiting for driveway ordinance from,
Okay, well, we haven't heard anything from the selectmen.
right,
Okay.
we've heard nothing from them.
So we've asked for that. Is that,
And it supposedly has gone to
I
the
sent an email to
town
everybody.
attorney.
Okay, and I sent an email to everybody. I wanted to draft a letter with regards to the enforcement. And I had a computer problem, so I've got to get that out. And I'm going to send a draft to everybody, and then you can let me know if it's okay. Or if you have
Yep.
contributions to it, then we'll modify it. So, one of the other things that is coming up, at the end of this month, is the end of the pandemic outside dining. And we haven't done anything further with it. And do we have many of them here in town? With people outside dining?
You got Rowley, you've got,
Got Monaco's, there's Trib, Monaco's,
Trib's not doing outside dining.
not anymore. Not gonna do it this year. No.
Well, she was gonna put a thing in, on the, where they did the bridge.
Right.
Right in there.
Yes, yeah.
She had I think the town was giving her a lot of
Okay,
enforcement over, and she let it rock.
okay, I hadn't talked to
Monaco's
them.
does? They don't have any outside.
On the deck, yeah, he
Monaco's
pulls
on
out.
the
Oh, yeah,
sidewalk.
okay.
Yeah, they
They
do
do
it on the
every year.
sidewalk.
He's been
yeah.
doing that for
Doing
years.
that
Yeah,
for years.
they were doing that before COVID,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you,
I think those, and Rowley Street has the one that comes into the parking
basically,
lot.
you
And
have,
they've got it buoyed out. I mean, that
Correct.
was before we had the.
Correct.
and then Little Red Barn, I mean, and what they have, but that
We
was
even
designed as
permitted
part of the
that, yeah.
project.
Any
That was
others?
permitted as part of the project, and so.
All right, so if there's anything that you think of with regards to outside dining that we could add to our regulations, let's
Yeah.
talk about it on the.
Have you had any inquiries or anything coming in?
No, but I mean,
But
I
typically.
can imagine some businesses would be interested in, like Second Home, I would think, would want to take advantage of something like that.
Well,
but-
where are they gonna
But
go?
they have no
It's too
place, they
narrow
don't have
there.
enough room. They don't even have a place for garbage cans.
Exactly.
Never mind, never mind outdoor dining.
But I think that, typically what we did, if somebody had a plan for that, we incorporated it in what we approved. We didn't,
Right, that's
Just-
Little Red Barn did, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Patio out there, and now they'll have the patio in back when that's.
So I think we could deal with it based on our own regulation. Doesn't prevent us from allowing outside dining. And we didn't do limitations based on what the inside occupancy was, which
Yeah.
the state has come up with. I think that they could serve, originally when the state came up with it, because they talked about, I remember listening to the whole presentation, that if you got a Walmart and they want to put outside dining, they can take their parking lot and put, and then they came out with a limitation of 50% of the inside dining arrangement, which I don't think makes it.
Which the Trib had done,
Yeah, but
before
doesn't
they
make-
renovated, they did.
Yeah, but I mean,
parking
I don't
spaces,
think
yeah.
that alone,
Right.
is, constructive. Because I think if you could prove that you could serve that, and you've got the room to do it, and you've got the spacing that you need,
Yeah.
you ought to be able to do it. Not limited on what's inside.
No, exactly.
But we could do that here in our permitting, as long as we've got everything else that we need. So I don't know whether we need to modify anything, we just need to make sure we're considering it appropriately.
Just make sure it allows you to do that, that's all.
Yeah, so let's reread that, and then think about that for our, on our next meeting on the 24th. Is that all right?
Yeah.
You got a question about
No,
that?
I'm just thinking about the situations all through town over the years, and it's really not been an issue, because as you say, you've done it for
Yeah.
specific sites that can accommodate it.
Sure, exactly. That's what I mean. I think it's more legitimate. And we're considering, a lot of issues when we're doing it. It's not one of these hodgepodge kind of
I mean,
things.
in other towns, they actually moved the whole restaurant outside, had these huge tents. I'm not for that, but I'm the sidewalk.
No, in Litchfield, they blocked some of the parking areas and
Yes,
so forth,
right.
So they've got some special considerations that they've got to deal with. And,
And and theirs is all in a congested area in one
Yeah.
location, where ours
Yeah.
is spread out over town.
Sure,
Yeah, as long as it doesn't block pedestrian traffic, that's all that matters.
sure.
You
We
definitely
want-
don't wanna walk on Main Street.
No, and they, well, we want them to be successful doing what they're doing.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, any other questions with regards to communications? Lance, do you have any communications? Oh, go ahead, Peter.
Nothing written came in.
Any update on zoning enforcement officer as far as looking to hire?
Yeah, so we're having our first interviews on the 19th and then the 20th, so next week.
Any criteria that you want to pass along to us?
We've had, I think there was quite a few applicants, but only 5 right now are going forward for interviews.
Are they certified?
Nobody's certified. But we do have one with an engineering background, so it looks potentially promising. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Is this a full-time or part-time position?
Part-time. I'm sorry,
Full-time.
full-time, yeah.
For all enforcement?
Yes. For basically to be inland wetlands.
Is that one of the
Enforcement officers.
necessary objectives, to
Yeah.
become certified?
Well, the Casio certification is what most people that do, they have.
See, Troy brought up a very good suggestion, and it's less money for the community, and you pay as you go. We talked about it before.
Subcontractor,
Yeah,
other towns do it, and that's how I was hired.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 1099, get taxes taken out, you get paid mileage, you use your own vehicle. You can work Saturdays, Sundays, whatever hours you wanna put in, as long as you keep track of them. And there's no benefits, and, they pay you a flat rate, like I was getting $35 an hour, which is fair. And a lot of things happen on the weekends that a full-time person wouldn't be able to see. That's when people do all their stuff.
Friday at noon, watch the contractors go to work, so.
So was that discussed among, the town manager is running this search,
Oh,
correct?
Yeah.
and Troy brought that up with the town manager sitting here in front of us.
No.
So has it gone anywhere?
I don't know, but I will ask.
If you're trying to save money, that's one way to do it.
Yeah. But it's more than that. You've pointed out several factors that make that an attractive
Right.
solution.
Plus, there's no office time, so it gives a person, you only get paid for what you do. So you're not sitting in the office all day doing nothing or researching paperwork or whatever. That's the staff's job, and then you just do your job as the zoning officer.
That
You're
makes a lot
supposed
of
to be out in
sense.
the field all day long. That's what I did anyway.
Right.
I was never in the office.
Wouldn't hurt to try something like that. It'd be a lot less expensive, but more productive, because,
And isn't the hiring of the enforcement officer supposed to be in collaboration with the commission?
It's supposed to be.
but we haven't heard
Is the
anything.
manager aware of that? Who should make him aware of that? Who
Well,
should
we
make
talked to him here.
Okay, so is he aware of it? I wasn't here for that,
I
so.
don't, he would have been aware of it if he was paying attention to what we're saying, but, he acknowledges a lot of things, and then, he goes
Okay,
his
but
own
this is an
direction.
important thing, because he's
Oh, I
about to
agree
make a
with you.
hire, and this is a suggestion, I think,
To be
because
honest-
that was in that email you sent.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when I got hired by the town of Harwington, I didn't get interviewed by the first selectman or anybody on the selectman board because they had no authority to hire me. I got interviewed by the wetlands first, and then I got interviewed by the zoning commission, and they hired me, and I worked for them. So that's how it worked. I don't know what our charter says on that, but
I don't think our budget's set up for that. I mean, our
You're not gonna
budget,
get much money.
we've never had, more than a couple grand.
they loved me because I didn't, I only did what I had to do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean, if it cost them $5,000 a
But you
year,
were
that
also
was saying
certified.
something.
You also got your qualification on your own expense.
I did. I paid for my own schooling for
Yeah,
both.
yeah. You made some notes, it's something that should be considered.
Well, what I'm wondering is whose responsibility is it to, find out if that's what the manager's doing? His or ours? Meaning you, because you're
Well,
the chairman.
Well, we did that at our last meeting, and
So we haven't found
we
out
haven't
whether
had
that's
any
considered. It
answers.
doesn't.
Just that he was going forward with his,
Well, you gotta see how it's written, how, I know we're involved in it.
It sounds like you're about to interview and hire some guy.
Right, it should be us interviewing and not them, but
Well, I was wondering that too, or at least some of us should be
Right.
involved in that
they don't know what
process.
we do, so.
I think the town, based on my experience of the last 15 years, the town considers them responsible, they being the town, responsible.
No,
for that.
I agree, but, you know,
Because that's how they got rid of Steve and Pam and all of that, and they had that savings. It was not into this, it was in that part of the budget. But it was controlled by the town, not, this commission
Not this
had no,
organization.
yeah,
no
but
say.
that could have been an error going back decades, because state law would take precedence over anything that the town was doing in that regard,
Well,
so
in 15
that was
years,
a
I've
good
never
point.
seen it. I'm not,
Right, and who'd be surprised by
I'm
that?
not a
Back in
lawyer,
the
so,
70s
you know.
when I was on it for
No, George,
8 or 9
I don't
years.
know, just, I mean, you might wanna call Mike Chris and see how how they run it in their town,
Okay.
town of Harrington. Just a thought, it saves a lot of money, that's why he was all
I
about
just
it.
know that that has never been,
Never
in,
been done.
since 2004, I have never seen that in any of the hires
Yeah.
that have had any association with this or the Inland Wetlands Commission, because I've been on both.
But it's gotta be written somewhere how that works, so if that's the case, if the
Yeah,
town manager has.
I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm just a dumb fin, so. I just,
All right. Well, let me call him too and see how it's structured within their
Yeah.
community. Thank you. All right, so you don't have any other, no communications?
No?
Town planners report?
Hang on,
Go ahead.
schooling, is there any more schooling coming up?
Oh,
Is
training
that-
opportunities?
What did I hear, that we have to have so many hours now as if you're on a
6, right?
commission?
6 hours.
Yeah, and I think 4 of you are all set. I know John, Charlene, you guys sat on, George, and Will. You guys are good, so.
I need to do that Yukon 1-hour class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
To get
me too.
mine.
I
That's the
think I had a
last one.
snowstorm that day when it was,
so I'll find, Clear,
Yeah.
Connecticut,
You-
whatever,
yeah.
land. They usually offer free classes that will qualify, which is good, and they're usually really good topics. I think there's another law one coming up soon. So if I see that,
A minimum of an hour of affordable housing.
Affordable
Yep.
That was in the state statute.
there was just another one offered by the COG, at the end of last month. I don't remember, I think
I
I.
used to get them emails, I don't get them anymore.
But I'm sure there'll be more opportunities, but yes.
Well,
definitely
let's, yeah, anything that comes up, just kind of spread it out to
Yep.
the commission.
Give it to
Because
everybody.
even if we've got it accomplished and we want something else, we could move in that direction. Okay,
I can give you a little update on 212 West Wakefield Boulevard.
all right.
So what about the, new business referral? That's on the
Oh,
Hammer.
you wanna talk about
24.
the,
Tractor supply?
Bachelor, you want to talk about the second?
No, the bachelor school,
yeah,
What's going on there?
so.
we don't know.
It's
Again,
not on here. It's
So like
not
I
on
men-
here.
Like I mentioned, you don't have to have had it on the agenda, because you're basically making a decision that's gonna go back to the Board of Selectmen. They're not applying yet to do anything, they gotta come before you for a public hearing and everything else. So it can be as easy, if you're in favor with the
What's the plan?
request for proposal,
Yeah,
oh, for,
What's the
yeah.
plan?
That's the plan, man.
That's the plan, man.
So the 2 plans that came in, or George, you, James, you remember?
Yeah.
The selectmen have finally decided they wanna go with the
Oh, you're talking about up
Northwest
at
Senior
Bachelor
Housing,
School?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Northwest Senior Housing Corporation. And
And part of that
Person,
property
Joe.
was gonna go into, an
Land
easement,
Land trust.
right? Land
Yep.
trust, okay.
Probably the bulk of it.
so
Yeah.
the proposal is for 32 units, most 1-bedroom, some 2-bedroom, a couple efficiency studios. Portion of the building will be around multipurpose room. Actually, that's been taken out. They don't. The gym, the selectmen decide they don't want to keep, so that can be made into more apartments if they wanted. But the town's not going to hold on to that. They're going to get $300,000 upfront costs. It is going to be on the tax rolls. That was another concern that.
There you go, that's what I wanted to hear.
And then.
That's number one.
It will be or will not?
It
be?
will.
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 Will be.
Yep, and then pretty much half of the property will be donated to the land trust. That's what their proposal was, that's what they're,
And that should be the proposal
Agreed
that's
to.
gonna come to us for the
yep,
824 reform.
yep. So it's just if you, agree with that, I guess you
So,
make a motion.
I got a question, is it gonna be run by the senior center?
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
So it's
Not by
gonna
the
be
town, it's gonna be run by a nonprofit.
By
It's the same
Northwest
one.
Senior Housing, the one that's doing
Same
the
as senior
Perry,
housing up at the hospital.
Senior housing up at the health
Oh,
center.
At 117 Spencer.
So is
this
it
one
gonna
that
be
can
for
get sold
elderly?
to a
Yes.
nonprofit?
It's
Probably.
gonna be for elderly
6 months
people,
after
not,
it's done.
Yeah,
not
us.
rehab people.
Us,
Yeah, us.
yeah.
To be
Not
honest,
us.
there's a need for the seniors, and I would
Yes, there
imagine
is.
that
That's
would
why I'm
go
asking.
first. But it would be
I might be
technically
moving
open
in
to
tomorrow,
anybody who
Lance,
could
so.
qualify for income wise.
Oh, so it's not age?
It's not 55 or older restricted or anything like
Uh-huh.
that.
It's a income issue?
Income,
Income restrict?
but they already have a waiting list for senior housing.
See, that, I don't know. I have a bad opinion about that because I work for the city of Torrington. Torrington Towers did that. It became a disaster. When they first opened up, it was for 65 and older. It was beautiful. Everybody got along.
Yeah, that's right.
As soon as they let the young people in there, drugs,
Yep.
prostitution, damage, threatening, the cops are there every day. That's
Fire
probably not a
department every
good,
other day.
yeah, that's not a good thing.
That all came up in our meeting with the residents, so I'll give you this too. This is something.
Came up with what,
We had like a little outreach meeting with the neighborhood.
Neighborhood, yeah.
Oh, up in
It was
the-
actually
back
very
from
well
school.
received. Yep. And this is just some information from that.
Thank you.
But all those concerns, yep, came out.
So, but they've already said that they're not gonna limit it just to seniors.
Correct.
It's gonna be open to everybody, so it didn't get resolved.
Didn't get resolved, but spoke about it.
Same day, yeah.
Okay, Troy, it didn't get resolved. It's
In order
open
for
to
me to
everybody.
vote on this, it would have to be restricted for seniors only. That's it for a positive referral from
But
me.
Ken, we're not gonna be able to do anything about that, right?
Well,
Planning and zoning?
they're using Salt State money, so you're not gonna be able to do it. The only way that happens is if the state does it.
Of course.
But it will
Bait and
become
switch
before
again, bait
the
and
residents
switch.
for a vote too, so nothing is
Right.
definite here.
I mean, I'm all for it, cause I know there's a lot of seniors here that need a place to stay, so.
But
I know how.
that's the difference, making it designated
mix
for
it,
that versus
it's never
letting
good.
everything else get in around the edges, yeah. Mhm. And PS, the charter addresses the building official issue in section 707. The manager shall appoint and may remove, subject to such rules under the merit system and the state statutes. A building official who may be the enforcement and zoning officer for planning and zoning. But there is, the language in there tracks the state statutes, which says that zoning is part of that process. The commission is part of that process. So it's certainly encompassed by 707. If the
was
issue
just-
is
it was
whether the
just never
commission
brought
wants to
up
make an
before.
issue of it during this hiring
Right,
process.
it was never brought up before, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Nobody
Well,
realized that they
we
could do
brought
that.
it up last meeting.
Right,
I understand that, but I'm saying prior to
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
For the last 7 years.
right, right,
Been longer than 7 years.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, you know.
that's the law.
Now, was Public Works gonna retain the barn for storage, or what did he finally decide with that, do you know?
I'm not sure how
I
that
know there were discussions
resolved.
on that,
I know
yeah.
Recreation and
Or
Public
the
Works
rec
were
department
interested in
was
it.
for storage, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was committed to be, is.
Yeah, at one
it was
point,
gonna
that's why I
be
just didn't
Public
know,
Works, yeah.
so.
Okay. I
Anyway,
know we talked with them about it,
Yeah.
and I don't think they had any use for it, and no need to take it down, but, yeah, I'm not sure how that was left, to be honest. If
Okay.
it's part of it or not.
Anything else tonight?
Yeah, you were gonna give us a little
Yeah.
rundown on Wakefield
So,
Boulevard?
I'm really appreciative, like, Willie, I think, was the first one to reach out to me to like, hey, what's going on with, the
212.
mussels? So we're
Break
back to
muscles.
212 West Wakefield Boulevard.
Muscles.
So, and I talked to, I think this original report was from Danius, who will probably butcher his name, I probably, Victor Vaz. And he's out of,
Or Bickus.
New York, Dutchess County. So when as soon as you asked me, you know, if he was supposed to be there, I called and he said, well, I have class right now, but I can come either tonight or tomorrow morning. I said, well, if you can come tonight, that would be appreciated, and then you can have a report and I'd have it for the morning, because Wetlands has also been asking me about it. So he did. So they're doing a good job. Frank is their site manager. I see him every day. He's always giving us updates. We had a concern also about, from Wetlands, about the filter bag potential on the outlet. The piping that's currently pumped out from the Hopper Dam, that's all clear, I mean, very clear water. And then you, I think, or somebody had mentioned, well, when they start excavating, then that could consider filtration, or siltation. So I am gonna be talking to him again about that. They aren't there yet, they're still just trying to get the framing down of the house. That was what they're working on today. And then I got this report from Jim McTeague. I don't know if he sent it today or yesterday. And he's did his report today, was one of the conditions for Port Dam has been installed, it's functioning well. Residence demolition is occurring and almost complete, see attached photos. I have very similar photos because I've been going there every day. But between myself and Bill Petroface, we're there pretty much every day. And so I just put the conditions in there again from Wetlands, the original 12, and then what your meeting had. I'm just trying to keep everything together in the file.
Their files were very extensive, because we went through them, you know,
Yep.
really heavily reviewed.
So that's, like I said, ongoing. I don't know if there's anything more to report about that. But today I did go out to Taylor Brook Culvert. I was there on Thursday last week. And that, of course, I went on the messiest day as Justin, that's like, because they had just taken out the culvert and they were getting ready to install the large piece, whatever, the pipe. So everything was mud everywhere and mess, but they were doing a pretty good job at that point of controlling it. What's awkward is you got two parts of the stream that come down to right where they're trying to work. And so it's actually functioning very well through the two, but, well, you said you didn't go there, but Candy sent some photos. It's functioning through the two right now, but what's happened is it's seeping through the hill, and it's going into the culvert that's northwest of the property, and it is silt, there's silt getting into the lake. So I brought that up to Justin today, and I said, you know, what's your plan? And he said, well, we're gonna put up silt fencing, and we're gonna do the hay bales. So hopefully tomorrow it'll have been resolved, but we do have pictures that I took on site, and then Candy sent a bunch too. But, I know Jim and Bart had been there pretty much every day. I hadn't really been, cause it was kinda their project, but, we'll
Oh,
start
but
making
that's
more
the
regular.
problem. Through the years, a lot of us have been involved here for a lot of years. And usually it's the town doing their own things that are not complying with what they need to be complying.
That's Candy's.
Yeah, so that,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bad.
this is at the end of the lake.
Oh,
So it's important that the extra steps be taken to, because we would expect everybody to be doing that.
Right.
You know, coming before any of us. Okay. Anybody else have anything?
The only other thing was the group home, and again, if you wanna talk about it next meeting, that's totally fine, cause they're not coming until May, but if you wanna give this a glance, I literally got it today, just see what you think of the wording for the group care facility. Marty had done this, something similar for the town of Torrington, I don't think he did Goshen or not. But he took it from our regulations and he said this language is what he proposed, and then the half a parking spot per bedroom that's what he's recommending for the on-site. I actually went there today for the first time. They have 7 parking spaces up in the back. Actually have quite a bit of land terraced up into the hill. It will be a nice site for something like that.
Are they closing the one in, Torrington? It kind of,
think
it sounds like that from the back page
Yeah,
description.
so kind of funny that's Hanson, but spelled wrong. So Hanson Home, I guess, if I'm understanding, is being closed in Torrington. But this would be a women's shelter. I mean, they said specifically that's what the use is for.
But this triggers a question about what we passed in the fall about the homeless shelter at the Winstead Health Center. What's going on with that?
Well, that's closed now.
Okay.
Yep, that's done.
How did that go?
I heard mixed reviews. There were some issues, but
How'd that go?
you know, that'd be good. I'll maybe follow up and see if I can get a report from them how it was. I know
think that'd be
there
a
was-
good idea.
Gotta check with
Ask
some of the other
ask
agencies
the police
in
department
town,
for a
yeah.
report, how many calls they had up there, and how many
Did they?
ambulance calls they had.
Okay, so,
It'll shock you.
Yeah, I
Well-
know they were knocking on people's windows and the neighbors.
well,
They were there 2 or 3 nights.
it's all
day-
stuff that this
times a night.
commission anticipated.
So,
Yes.
at least, minimum.
So we're not gonna have that kind of issue with this facility.
Well, you're basically looking at 7 beds, so, not
Right.
30, not
A little
39.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little different. Anybody else in
Thank
the
you.
commission have anything? You two are sitting there in the room. Do you have any,
I'm just fascinated by the process. I was just here for the update on the ECAD thing, and I got that answer real quick, so.
Oh, okay.
We have none. We have none.
Yeah, you really don't.
Unfortunately.
Did you get your tree taken care of? No. You didn't?
Oh,
You what?
have we closed?
No.
I have about a 3-foot tree that sits on the town road next to my house, and we had one of the last storms come through, and it missed the house, but it took out the part of the fence. And that tree's been growing there since I moved in at 75, but it was only about 15 feet high then, now it's about 90 feet high. And limbs are breaking off from this and that.
So it's at the town property?
Yeah, that's town property.
That's a Jim Rollins
Jim
problem,
Rollins
because he's the tree warden by state statute.
He's got it on watch.
He's got it on watch.
He's
I
the
got a lot
certified
of them,
official
too.
for the town, by state
But
statute.
anyway, he supposedly had the other tree on watch too, the one that came down during the Oasis, that took out part of the.
He's watching it till it falls.
Power line on the other side of the street, and all they did was come down and clean up whatever source left for him, and all the way.
Where is this?
The Berry Terrace, it runs, you know where 7 Superior Street is? That end comes right off there, and the other end goes right straight up to the convalescent home. Cause it used to go through, they told me years ago, when I moved in, it went all the way up to the convalescent home and out. But, the convalescent home was built before I got there. Yeah, it's,
Well, check with Jim.
the Oasis tree is about maybe 8 feet off the road, and my tree is about, the one that's, I worry about more than anything, is 36 feet off the road of the Superior Street.
It's 36 feet off the
Well,
road.
then it would be your,
But it's within the right of way, if you look at LeBerry Terrace right of way, it's in that 37 and a half feet wide.
but is that an official town road, or is it a paper road?
It's a paper road.
So it's not a town road then?
Well, it is a town,
Well, why can't you remove it?
because the town won't give me authority to move it, and I don't have $5,000 to move it.
Well, I don't think they have authority. If it's a paper road and it's in 36 feet, yeah. That doesn't, the center road thing doesn't apply there on a paper road, right, Peter?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, it doesn't. That was one of the first
Yeah.
issues they dealt with in the
that'd be-
90s.
Is there any
paper road
wires?
thing.
Yes, there's a cable and there's a Eversource,
The power wires?
Yeah.
How close to the power wires is it?
maybe 4 feet, 3 feet.
Well, there you go. You go to Jimmy Rounds and you tell him to call the arborist and said there's a dead tree that's gonna take down
For
their.
Eversource.
Well, the
wires.
arborist already came to my house and
Trimmed it.
asked me, is that the tree you're talking about? I said, yeah. He says, that thing should have been taken down 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You didn't take it down?
No.
How long ago was this?
That was 2 years ago when they took the one down the hill from me about
new guy, cause I'm a superintendent for the town of Norfolk, so that, I'm in the street department, that's what I do.
Oh, you know Matt?
Yes, that's my boss. So, what they do, there's a new guy, Danny Rodriguez, and Jimmy has contact with him. You call him, I call him for a tree like that, he's out there the next day cutting it. So, obviously, there's some paperwork got lost somewhere, so I have to redo it again. Go see Jimmy, tell him to call Danny Rodriguez. If Danny says it's gonna be a potential power outage, he will cut it down for you.
Oh, yeah, they pay crews as far as way in New Hampshire.
Looks like they've looked at it.
This power company has been
Yeah, but
much
we
more
gotta do what this
proactive
guy's
than they
doing.
used to be.
The other guy was,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think
the new
Jim's-
guy's really good. I
think
call
Jim's
him,
looked at it.
he's there. That day, he'll check it that day,
Maybe.
and the next day it'll be down.
Maybe because you're the one calling them.
Maybe. I treat him good, so.
That's what I pulled up for zoning.
Well, you gotta have those guys in your pocket. Those guys are the ones you want. I mean, if it was my town, I'd call for you, but I can't, so.
You can
Gotta go for Jimmy.
It's a state statute.
And what, Jimmy and I are,
Or on,
No?
Jimmy and I are.
our
Zoning
role.
enforcement.
Not
He
enforcement.
has that problem with other people too, I guess.
Appointing a zoning enforcement official and everything.
Yeah, and it has the language
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
it's in
2014.
conjunction.
Yeah, it goes
with
back
the-
to 2014.
Well, it's the same, that,
Yeah.
that's.
No, I know.
Why
No,
don't
I-
you call,
Looked it up a while ago and
Yeah.
I printed off a copy of it, so I knew I had it. I was looking through everything to
Yeah,
find it.
well, the issue is
So
getting
George has
it
got it now.
to the
try.
manager.
How big that filing cabinet is, you
Okay. Anybody else have anything else?
Let me,
I have all kinds of crap.
I'll send him an
It's just
email.
finding it. My files.
Oh, this is the public, but I know, I can shoot an email.
All right,
if you want.
subcommittees in here. Anybody else have anything else? Motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor?
Really?
Thanks, everybody.
Wow, 10 after 8. So,
That beats 10 after 10 last week, or last time, or whatever it was.
That doesn't happen too often here.
No.
So you heard about your daughter's fire, right?
My daughter's what?
Christine? No. Oh, yeah. About a 3/4 of an acre burned.
You should,
No. About 10:45 yesterday.
my alley was burning.
No, he wasn't around. Everybody pled ignorance. He wasn't even there. Obviously, it was burning. Because it took off towards Charlie Combs' old house, out to the wall, and then headed down the woods. We did some fast scrambling and got it knocked down.
And the goat pen down.
No, it just went as far as the brook. So, because Christine was there with 5-gallon buckets trying to throw some water on it. And we pulled up. I happened to be, my wife and I were out with Brian, I was up by the state police tower in Norfolk. Came down through and I got to the firehouse at the same time as Brett and another guy, and we each grabbed one truck. I took one, another guy took another one, Brett brought the tanker in case we needed extra water. And pulled hoses and poured water on it fast.
They didn't come to dinner.
Well, you could give her a hard time. Yeah. Lance. I went back and forth for lunch just to make sure there was nothing, 'cause we all done
I
these
don't
class
know,
A
but
foam.
we'll figure
I like to use it,
I
especially
know.
stuff like